Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. Here at Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. We use our social media platforms to have discussions on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures in order for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we do write thought pieces every other Sunday. We are planning on dropping a thought piece this upcoming Sunday, so definitely be sure to check out our website. If it is the case that you're out and about and on the go, we are available on 9 different podcast platforms, so definitely be sure to take us along the ride with you. Our links are available in the description down below. Now, as is the convention, definitely be sure to subscribe. Hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these discussions and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis, and this week our topic of discussion is mental wellness. Now, before getting into today's topic, I wanted to definitely give you an opportunity to think about joining our live event. So our next live event is scheduled to take place on September 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be talking about creating and maintaining joy. So how to create and maintain joy within our lives, and we plan on having ongoing live events that are focused on a theme to do with life and creating fulfillment in life. If it is the case that you want to participate in these conversations and join the community, we have membership plans, so I'll have those on the screen, but definitely if you want more information, they're available on our website, and you can also check out some of the details in relation to our events on our Facebook page as well. So we give you a sneak preview into the events that are taking place for the rest of 2021. On our topic of wellness this week, what we'd like to cover is our relationship with movement. And I thought I was going to talk about exercise this week, but I think there's a lot of discourse and conversation around exercise. I wanted to tailor it a little bit and talk instead about movement and how we need to think very intentionally about what our relationship with movement is like. And the reason why I think this is an important topic to discuss on our mental wellness segment is that a lot of the time we take movement for granted. We take for granted our level of mobility, our range of motion, and all of the ways that movement and our ability to move enhances our life and contributes to our quality of life until there is an event that takes place that impedes our ability to move. And as someone who loves movement, I live for movement, I need to incorporate movement into every aspect of my day. I think that it's really important that for those of us who are indifferent to movement, I mean, we don't really have an opinion on it, or for those of us who actually are adverse to movement, we don't like movement at all, I think I'd like to have a conversation and try to kind of build the argument for why movement should be something that you incorporate, and not as a chore, but as a discipline. And I demarcate between a chore and a discipline because a chore is something that, we begrudgingly do. We don't really want to do it. We don't even necessarily see the inherent value of doing it. It's just an area where we feel obligated to put our energy towards. And I think as it relates to movement, it's important to think about our attitudes and our beliefs and keep those attitudes and beliefs in check so that movement is never never something that feels arduous. This should be something that is liberating and that gives us a sense of freedom and energy. And one of the reasons why I believe this, for me especially, through movement, if we're intentional and mindful about movement in and of itself, is an opportunity to reconnect with our body. And a lot of us are disconnected from our body. We eat different things, we do different things that kind of creates distance between ourselves and our body's reaction to those things, or even maybe we know that our body has an adverse reaction to something, but we grin and bear it for the benefit of whatever that activity provides. And the more things that we do that we know are at the detriment of our body, like we know we're going to have to suffer the physical consequences of them, but for whatever reason they satisfy another aspect of our lived experience, it just creates more distance between ourselves and our body and the connection that we have to our body. And I think movement is a really easy way to reestablish that connection. Not to mention that movement is a fundamental need. We fundamentally need movement as a means of contributing to our sense of wellness. It's very hard to feel well and to be well if it is the case that our mobility is limited. And we most experience how miserable it is to not have mobility when it is the case that we're sick or we're injured and it's really not in our best interest to move. And in those moments, we feel the restriction. We feel the effects on our emotional, mental, and psychological well-being that limited movement creates. And I think that it's important that we make the time to build movement into our routine and not wait on those moments in life where we recognize, hey, movement is actually pretty important to my sense of well-being. I think this video is more of a prompt to be proactive about the benefits that movement has to our health, if it is the case that we take it into consideration and we value movement as part of our day-to-day lives, as opposed to seeing it as a chore and seeing it as something that we really would prefer not to do. Especially as we get older, range of motion tends to get limited with the limited amount of movements that we do, and we want to increase and maintain our range of motion because it allows us to just be more flexible and have more options with where it is we want to put our energy moving forward without suffering an injury as a result of it, without kind of overextending ourselves. Another reason why movement is super important is sometimes if it is the case that mentally or emotionally or psychologically we feel stuck, or we feel like, we're in over our head, or we're outside of our comfort zone and we feel out of our element, our ability to move is a really quick way to boost our confidence. Involving or pivoting your energy and pivoting your concentration to something that involves movement, like doing a quick little exercise when you're dealing with a mental slump, or when you're dealing with a mental block. If you kind of switch to movement and then go back to that mental activity, it can provide you so much reprieve and just can build our confidence subversively, right? So when we move, we're like, okay, you know what? This is really challenging. I'm having a bit of a mental block. But let me do a quick sprint, or let me do, 40 jumping jacks, whatever the case it is. If it is the case that we feel like we're struggling through an obstacle mentally, emotionally, or psychologically, one of the best ways to do a bit of a confidence booster and then repivot back to that mental activity is to incorporate a physical goal that we can that we can complete rather quickly. And that internal validation will leak across to that mental activity. So I think that it's really important that we realize that we can really benefit from the quick wins that involving movement into our day-to-day routine allots and provides. So to kind of summarize that point, if it is the case that you're feeling demotivated, if you're feeling like you need a little bit of encouragement, rather than seek someone else, seek to do a little bit of movement. And I'm telling you, you will build inner confidence. If you set yourself up with a mini physical goal, you accomplish that goal, you do that movement, that bit of encouragement can be just what you need to get you over the next psychological hurdle. So if it is the case that you're feeling demotivated, if you need a little bit of an energy boost, rather than get it through external validation or from a friend, setting yourself small physical goals can be a great way to build that internal validation and encourage yourself to push through that next hurdle. And the last reason that I want to provide why it's important to incorporate movement into our day-to-day is that it is a natural energy booster. It's a great energy booster without the jitters. And I'm not someone who is knocking caffeine. I think sometimes, depending on the level of focus and clarity we need, caffeine is a great option to have available. But if it is the case that we need an energy booster and we need that endorphin and we don't want to have the jitters on top of it, movement is the best way of incorporating that. And I think think one of the best benefits about movement is that not only does it give you an energy booster, the more we move throughout the day, the better quality of sleep we have at night, which isn't the case if we're drinking caffeine all throughout the day. It most definitely is going to impact your quality of sleep at night. And there are people who have a really hard time moderating their caffeine, and as a result of that, they suffer from a little bit of insomnia. And I suggest, do a 90-day challenge. No caffeine, incorporate movement instead of that caffeine. Get those natural endorphins in, those natural energizing, feel-good vibes in, and then see what happens as it relates to your quality of sleep. Movement gives you an opportunity to get those energy boosters that you need throughout the day and still preserve your sleep, which isn't something that caffeine really gives you as an option. So this is a quick video. We do have construction happening outside. I did my best to try to record during the bits that it was quiet and not in the bits where there was construction, but I thought that to keep it light and fun for mental wellness, I wanted to give you some of my 3 reasons why movement is super important and how it contributes to our sense of wellness. And I'd love to hear your points of view and your thoughts, and I'd love for you to try it out and see if whether or not incorporating more movement into your routine has contributed positively to your sense of wellness, and what attitudes and beliefs you need to change in order to have a better relationship with movement to then reestablish the connection you have with your body. So definitely make sure you engage with this video, provide your feedback and your input in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time. Talk to you soon.